Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. I'm now glad to be joined by Paula Rome, who's the Customer Service Manager for the Bayou region for Entergy. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jacob.
All right. I see there's an update that Louisiana Public Service Commission has approved the phase one of Entergy's Resiliency Plan. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went?
We're very excited about this, Jacob. On Friday, the Public Service Commission took an important step on behalf of all the customers for Entergy Louisiana across the state. And this pivotal move allows utilities to expedite grid hardening work. This will facilitate quicker recovery after a storm and help mitigate our grid and restoration storm expenses after a storm. So what this will do is this is a plan at a cost of $1.9 billion that we will spend over the next 5 years. And what it's going to do is we will come in and harden the grid in the area. This is very important to the Bayou community, as you know. And so what it's going to do is come in and put in bigger poles, better wiring. And so in some cases, you may see concrete poles or steel poles coming in or wood poles rated at 150 mile per hour.
Okay. And of course, the customers out there, the first thing they're going to ask is, what's this going to cost me, or how is that determined? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is a way customers are used to paying for hurricane charges on their bill after a storm. So this is the proactive way. We're hoping that by doing this, we will have less hurricane charges on a bill after a storm. So this is the proactive way of handling this thing. And so for a residential customer that uses approximately 1,000 kilowatts of power a month, the initial monthly bill increase will be about 57 cents on your bill. And so then it will steadily increase to approximately $7 a month at the end of the 5-year period. And you will start seeing that charge in your bill towards the end of this year.
Okay. And then it'll go from 5 years from then while this process is taking. Is that how long the upgrades are going to, or the strengthening is going to take place over that time period?
Yes. So we will spend the $1.9 billion on projects over the next 5 years. Correct. Okay.
All right. And is this something that is going to, help keep the power on during hurricanes, or what did you think?
Yes. So while it's impossible to keep to say that we're going to keep power on in the middle of a Cat 3, 4, 5 storm, it will prevent any power outages. Hopefully we will better keep the power on longer before a storm comes, and hopefully this will be able to get the power up faster after a hurricane. So we have studied the state of Florida, and they instituted something very similar 10 years ago. Their Public Service Commission instituted this about 10 years ago, and as you can see in Florida, they have more hurricanes than we do, and their power grid comes back on in a matter of maybe 2 to 5 days instead of 2 to 5 weeks. And so, we're hoping that by investing this kind of money and hardening the grid now, that it will only make it better, and so we can recover faster after a storm, and that's the purpose here.
Okay, and one of the things I guess I always hear people ask the question about is why aren't the lines buried? Is that something that's just cost prohibitive, or what's the reason on that?
Yeah, and that's a question we get all the time. And while burying all the lines is cost prohibitive, is exactly what it is. Sometimes impractical, because after a storm, it's easier to see when a line is down and a pole is down. To find a fault in a line when it's buried takes longer to identify. That is one thing. But our plan, this plan that we have got approved, strategically does combine some underground burying of cable and some overhead pole hardening to optimize the affordability of the plan. If we would put together the plan to bury everything, it obviously would not be affordable.
I see. Now, is this some? I see, like on the way to Grand Isle, they have a lot of telephone poles that are strengthened. Either they have concrete bases, or they have a tube around them with rocks. Is that something that's going to be taking place in more locations? That
You may see some of that on the coast. I don't have all the specifics on the exact projects, but I do know that a bulk of the money obviously will be spent in hurricane prone areas, which means the Bayou region will see a lot of projects in this area. I don't actually have the breakdown yet,
Sure.
Because we had originally gone after 10 years of $10 billion. And so the Public Service Commission, we are very grateful that they approved $1.9 billion for the first 5 years. And there is some accountability built into that, which means that, they are trusting Entergy to spend this money and do so in a responsible way, which means that once we put in this hardening measures, if we show that things are failing, then we're responsible for fixing that afterwards
Okay. And this
on
is
our dime.
Gotcha. And this is a plan that y'all have had in the works for a little while that y'all put out, I believe, over a year, it wasn't?
Oh, we've been working on this for over a year. Yes, we put it in front of the Public Service Commission, and it has to be vetted through the attorneys and all the analyzing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it went through a lot of eyes and engineers and a lot of people smarter than me that looked at this plan and vetted it, and so this is what they came up with. So we're very happy to be able to take this on and provide better, reliable service for customers.
Okay, well, we thank you for coming on and giving all the customers out there an update. I know you don't always get thanked for the job because people only think about power when the bills are high or when the power's out. But we thank you for what you're doing and come and explain all the process.
Well, thank you, Jacob, for having us.
All right, stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.